This is a story about an unexpected detour. Joseph Hu Kim was born in Kingston, Jamaica in 1942. His father had come from China and was on his way to Panama when he stopped in Jamaica and then never went any further. He met a woman there who was half Chinese and half Jewish, and together they had 4 sons. Joseph, who went by the nickname Jojo, was the oldest. The Hu Kim family lived near Trenchtown above a business that they owned that was at various times an ice cream parlor, a rum bar, and a liquor store. And Jojo inherited his parents' strong work ethic and entrepreneurial spirit, but he applied it to music. Music was very important to him early on, and when he was 18 years old in 1960, he got a job stocking jukeboxes around Jamaica. But he wouldn't figure out exactly what his career in the music business was going to be until years later. He was with this friend, a singer named John Holt, and John was going in to record at a studio called Dynamic Sound. And Joseph said when he walked into that recording studio for the first time, his whole life changed. Jojo was fascinated, and he said, "The sound just hold me right there." He knew from that moment that he wanted to open his own recording studio. He knew a little bit about records from his job stocking jukeboxes. He knew how to pick songs that he thought were going to be hits, but he didn't know anything about recording them. He got an engineer who had built studios in New York and worked for artists like Harry Belafonte, and he told him to spare no expense in setting up this studio. He got all state-of-the-art equipment, spending about $60,000 putting the studio together, including $38,000 on an API console, which was state-of-the-art at the time. In 1972, Jojo Hu Kim opened his studio in West Kingston, Jamaica, that he called Channel One. And at first, he had no idea what he was doing. He admitted that he didn't know anything about making records, so to get experience, he let artists come in and record for free. And some big names in reggae did come through Channel One in its early days. Delroy Wilson, Lee Scratch Perry, Bunny Lee, although Bunny Lee told Jojo bluntly, "The studio doesn't sound good." The legend Alton Ellis recorded a whole LP at Channel One, but when they listened to it, it was recorded so badly that they couldn't even release it. Jojo thought that maybe this expensive equipment he had bought was broken, and he tried to take it back to the manufacturer, who told him that no, he just didn't know how to use it. Slowly but surely, Jojo started to learn, and things started to get better. But he also made some big changes. He replaced Channel One's original engineer with his own brother Ernest. Then Jojo started producing the records himself. They upgraded Channel One from a 4-track to a 16-track studio. And he got a house band for the studio to play on a lot of the records. They were called the Revolutionaries. More on them later. By the mid-1970s, Channel One started having hits. They were not just a recording studio, but also a record label. Their first big hit was a single by Delroy Wilson called It's a Shame, a cover of a Stevie Wonder song.
It's a shame, shame, the way you hurt me, baby. It's a shame, shame.
Another big hit was Fade Away by Junior Byles.
He who seeks of only vanity and no love for humanity shall fade away, fade away.
By this time, reggae music was starting to become a phenomenon outside of Jamaica. Bob Marley had broken through, Jimmy Cliff and the soundtrack to his movie The Harder They Fall had become a big hit. Interestingly, some of the songs on that soundtrack were written by another Chinese Jamaican, Leslie Kong. But now, major labels from the US were coming to Jamaica to try to look for the next crossover success. And in 1975, Virgin Records agreed to internationally distribute an album from a Channel One band called Mighty Diamonds. Their record Right Time, which was recorded at Channel One and produced by Jojo, became a reggae classic.
And when the right time comes, yeah, some are gonna charge me us.
And now not only was Channel One known for producing hits, but also for innovation. They were innovators in the genres of dub and dancehall and the roots reggae offshoot rockers. And this was not only because of Jojo's production and his brother Ernest's engineering, but also because of their house band, the Revolutionaries. Specifically, their rhythm section. Their drummer, Lowell Dunbar, who went by the nickname Sly, and their bass player, Robbie Shakespeare, was one of the most important rhythm sections in all of music. As a duo known as Sly and Robbie, they became 2 of the most important producers in Jamaican history. They played on not only thousands and thousands of reggae classics, but they also crossed over and worked with artists like the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, No Doubt, even Lonely Island. But unfortunately, as important and influential as Channel One was, its time at the top didn't last long. In 1977, one of JoJo's brothers, Peter, was killed during a robbery, and the business was never quite the same. JoJo relocated to New York. He opened a record store and a pressing plant there. Channel One did continue to be successful in Jamaica for a while, but eventually JoJo walked away. His passion for it was gone. Not only had he lost one brother, there was some drama with the other brothers, and also he didn't really like the direction that recording and producing was going. He didn't like computers. He thought it took the soul out of the music, and so he shut the label down. He said it was for love. It wasn't for money, and that's why we can walk away. Joseph Hu Kim died of cancer in 2018, and the building where Channel One stood is now abandoned. But the studio, the label, and JoJo's place in the history of reggae music will stand forever.
Swallow field, Agostino, the battlefield, yeah, yeah.
Well, John will invite me to Dynamic. He had a session there. And the minute I step into Dynamic and they start to play, to myself, I said, this is it.